Hadrian's Wall, stretching for almost 80 Roman miles, about 73 modern miles, or 117 kilometers from the River Tyne, near the North Sea, to the Solway Firth on the Irish Sea, is the most famous and imposing Roman monument in Britain, and a vivid testimony to the empire's northern frontier policy during the 2nd century AD. Begun in AD 122, under the orders of Emperor Hadrian, who toured the provinces to consolidate Rome's borders after decades of expansion, the wall was conceived not as a simple barrier, but as a complex military zone, combining a continuous stone curtain wall up to 3 meters thick and 5 to 6 meters high in the east, and initially turf in the west, later replaced by stone, with a deep ditch, the volum, and an array of forts, mile castles, and turrets, spaced at regular intervals to house troops, control movement, and project Roman power. Built largely by the legions stationed in Britain over a period of about 6 years, it marked the northern limit of direct imperial administration and served to monitor and regulate trade and movement between Roman-controlled territory and the unconquered lands of the Caledonian tribes beyond. Throughout the 2nd and 3rd centuries, the wall was modified. Forts were added on the line itself rather than behind it. Gates and crossing points were adjusted, and troops from across the empire, auxiliaries from Spain, Gaul, Germany, and Syria, were stationed along its length, making it a cosmopolitan frontier community. In the early 140s, the Romans briefly advanced into what is now Scotland and built the Antonine Wall between the Forth and Clyde, but they soon fell back to Hadrian's Wall, which remained the main line of defense for nearly 3 centuries. It endured periods of neglect, rebuilding, and renewed fighting as northern tribes launched raids and as the empire's resources were stretched. By the late 4th century, its military function was faltering, yet parts of it were still in use when Roman rule in Britain collapsed around AD 410. In the centuries after Rome's withdrawal, the wall's stones were quarried for local building, but sections of the fortifications and civilian settlements remained visible, inspiring legends such as the Picts' Wall and early antiquarian interest. From the 18th century onwards, systematic study by scholars and preservation by landowners, and later the state, transformed it into Britain's premier Roman archaeological site. Today, Hadrian's Wall is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with many stretches accessible to walkers, and key forts like Housesteads, Vindolanda, and Burdaswald, revealing an extraordinary picture of life on Rome's northwestern frontier, embodying not only a physical barrier, but also a cultural meeting place where soldiers, traders, and local peoples interacted at the edge of an empire. Thanks for watching Z History.